The Charter describes important rights and freedoms that belong to all Canadians. These rights cannot be taken away by anyone, not even federal or provincial governments.
How a provincial law supersedes Section 2 of the Charter. So right now, Section 1 of the Charter says you can be out, it's a stay-at-home order, and you can be out for these certain purposes. They do not fall within those certain purposes, so technically they shouldn't be out, and they're in contravention of a provincial law.
Well, officer, you do what you have to do.
Most importantly, our freedom. Freedom!
Today is May 9. It's Victory Day.
Special powder shower, you smile like peaches. I can feel you.
Most importantly, our freedom. Freedom! So let's talk about housekeeping before we start. We will stay here for an hour and a half until 1:30. We will have speeches, entertainment. Please use this time in order to peacefully protest by the side of the road. There are newspapers here. This is the first Canadian crowd-funded newspaper. Brothers, please take as much as you need and distribute to your family, friends, your loved ones. So this is a very good way to distribute information. Here in these boxes, we have the Professionals Against Lockdown signs. Take as much as you need. Put them on your front yard. Make yourself known. At 1:30, we will start.
We're governed by the Trespass Property Act. If these people were protesting, technically we are on private property right now.
That's right.
And the property owner said they don't want these people to protest here.
Did the
then
property
we would
owner
ask
say
them
that?
to go. No, I'm speaking hypothetically. But that is also provincial law in place. We would ask them to please protest on the sidewalk. If they refuse to leave, their rights to protest are now null and void because they're on private property.
But
The
you
law
have to be asked by the
supersedes
owner of the
charter.
private
Correct.
property, right?
But
so
that's a
he
law
hasn't
in place.
asked that.
No, I'm speaking hypothetically. I'm just explaining to you how a provincial law supersedes Section 2 of the Charter. So right now, Section 1 of the Charter says you can be out, it's a stay-at-home order, and you can be out for these certain purposes. They do not fall within those certain purposes, so technically they shouldn't be out, and they're in contravention of a provincial law.
Well, officer, you do what you have to do.
And as you know, very obviously, our goal is to be here in order to protest against the government restrictions. It's very important to understand that by being here, we are asserting our right for freedom of speech, association, and
I sent the kids.
Officer, ready?
She said
and guarded by the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, Sections 2 and 7. Now I am turning to the police and bylaws. And this is just a reminder to you that your obligation under Section 1.2 of Police Services Act is to uphold the principles of the Charter and the Human Rights Code above all other laws. Please remember it.
People are going to come up and officers are going to come and start enforcing. And I'm just providing you with that knowledge to know that there is a law that's in place. That's a provincial offense, and ignoring that law will make you subject to it. But we want to give you a grace period.
Yeah, give it to you, ain't no fight a bunch. I see you coming in cute, sexy on sight. Give it to me, love, you ain't gonna be shy. Mama, I know you are a prize. I can never take you off. We'll be that guy.
Are you ready for this? Freedom. Let me get you one more time for freedom.
Memories floating, yeah. Surrounded, I'm drowning in all this emotion. A good conversation, don't know where it's going. Don't know where it's going. I just keep thinking and falling these potions.
Okay, Miriam is here from the line. It's a teacher singing group, and she has a poem, a spoken word. Please, everybody, listen to Miriam. Grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, stay apart. Childhood friends, BFFs, art group, stay apart. Playgrounds, sports, schools, stay apart. Parks, trails, small Canadian businesses, stay apart. Churches, mosques, synagogues, temples, stay apart. Hospitals, food banks, shelters, long-term care homes, stay apart. I will not stay apart. Vive la liberté! Freedom! That's it? We have a rapper here, O'Neill. Are you ready? Okay, come on.
Bring on the beat.
We have a rapper, O'Neill. Thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome. So, my name is Ashley. I'll check my numbers. Let's see if I can start going. Stand by. Let's see. Yeah. Okay.
I'm a journalist with Freedom Forum News. That's freedomforumcanada.com. And we have been covering news since this started the lockdown. What we were doing. They tried to take my identification and name for all of us. It almost seemed like they were saying papers please to all of us. And I was saying at the start maybe, then I thought, fuck you. You don't have any right to ask me for my identification when I'm a passenger in the vehicle here. They asked me for that, I said no. They ripped me out of the vehicle, took me to jail in Quebec, and they asked me if I had $500 to get out of jail card. I said no, so they drove me to a bank machine, shook me down for $500, and then drove me to the Ontario border, where there was a checkpoint, by the way. We have checkpoints coming into Ontario as well. They gave me I gave them $500. The Quebec police dropped me off. I had no phone, but the phone I took the video on, I threw in the vehicle so the cops couldn't get it. Now I'm out without a phone. I'm standing at the side of the road for 2.5 hours as my journalist crew drove back from Ottawa to pick me up to go back to Montreal to cover the protest the next day. Strangely though, we had submitted letters to the police ahead of time to let them know that we were coming to cover this event. And so when they pulled us over, it was even more shocking that they were harassing us than they knew we were journalists ahead of time with our assignment letters on us. This is petrifying stuff. As soon as journalists aren't allowed to speak, you're not going to find out the real truth. Like the public relations teams that they call journalists now aren't going to tell you the truth. I mean, the case count doesn't matter here. We have to find real stories. Please support the independent media. It's harder than you think, and it pays half as much. Thanks very much.
Can I? Hi everybody. Today we celebrated two great holidays. The first is Mother's Day. The mothers who gave us a life. Today is May 9. It's Victory Day. I believe you remember this. We celebrated for the people who survived our life. My father and my grandfather were fighting for our future. Today, we have to fight for future of our kids. It's our responsibility. We have to remember that our consciousness above the fear and the God above the order. Happy holidays.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Patriots. Okay, next, we're going to have Lamont Tegel. He's with an organization called The Line, and they've been fighting from the beginning as well. And this group here is open to all organizations, all groups that are standing for freedom. Doesn't matter what your group is, you're all welcome here.
I can't even take that.
I'll hold that.
I can't.
Okay.
No, because I have conditions.
Okay, talk loud.
Okay, really loud.
I'll hold it far.
Oh, yeah, good. So that's allowed, right? Because number one, when we first started this last year, we were the first ones at Queen's Park to stand up and create the civil rights movement. Because ultimately, like she said, it doesn't matter what you're in for. It's about ending the lockdown. No more lockdown.
No more lockdown.
And standing up for freedom. And standing up for freedom. If we do that and we help find a way to end this emergency order, then everything else goes away. And we find a way for these people to realize what we're trying to do here. Okay? Because at the end of the day, these people don't understand that we're here for them. That's what we're here for right now. So let's give a hand for these people. Freedom!
Freedom! Hunt for freedom!
Right? It's about the people. Open up the small businesses. You're absolutely correct. So listen, the reason I can't hold a microphone, a megaphone, or talk on a speaker that's mine is because I have conditions based on my arrest. Over the course of standing up for the people last year, I got 6 tickets, totaling $3 million in fine and 6 years in jail if I get convicted. And one very wonderful common nuisance charge of endangering the public health of people. Are you hearing me, people?
Yes!
Woo! So thank you, Canadian government, for showing me how much you love me, right? So, what did I do back in January? I said, well, I can't get on a speaker. I can't talk about protests, so what are we going to do? The Line Canada decided to go underground, which is what we should have done in the first place. That's the way we started this whole thing in the first place. No leaders, because they would come in and cut us off. So, once we woke up and we stood up, they started cutting us off. So you started to see last year where they were starting to nail all the leaders. That's why now you've got all these smaller areas having protests, and I think that's amazing. Put your hands together for Vaughan!
Vaughan!
Right?
All of Ontario, open up Ontario.
Open up Ontario and say thank you to the police officers, the women and men of the police force that are here to stand up for our rights and freedoms. We used to say back the blue. We don't back the blue as a wide sweeping agenda. But we do appreciate our police forces that will someday stand up with us. Because I'll tell you, in the last 4 months, police officers come up to us and go, hey, you know what? We're on your side. We can't say that right now because we're just amassing ourselves. Because think about it. If that cop there has 30 years of experience and he has a community of people that respect him, do you think I want him to quit his job right now? No, I don't. You know why? Because they're fulfilling their position with new recruits that are psychopaths, okay? Not psychopaths 100%, but their agenda is less about the people and more about the agenda that's controlling us right now. So I want the veteran cops to stand up and show these young people now. This is what we do to stand up for our men, stand up for our women and our children, our animals, and ultimately show the people that may be sleeping right now. We will resist and we will never stop. Until this is gone.
We'll never stop. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lavon, thank you so much. And thank you for the support of The Line. And we hope you'll come out again. Okay, and I have a couple of other comments to say. Anne was
Very hard time hearing you. My name is Sharina
overcome. We shall overcome.
Ma'am, what is this officer telling you that it's illegal to fly a Canadian flag in your community?
In my heart, I do believe that we shall overcome someday.
Officer, why can't you
Freedom! Okay, now, anyone who wants to be in touch with me, because we didn't bring a sign-up board, if you want to get news, okay, my name is Rena, R-E-N-A. Malka, M-A-L-K-A-H. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Telegram, WhatsApp, everywhere. Rena Malka, 647-838-5061. Rena, R-E-N-A, at cyrfunding.com. That's my guest. Okay? Every city in the entire world is going to be protesting. And we want all of you to be down at Queen's Park on Saturday at noon. Please tell your friends. It's the worldwide protest. And there'll be a lot of really good speakers there this time because it's the worldwide protest. And we need to show our numbers.